Nissan has just taken the veil off the production version of the Ariya concept at the brand new Nissan Pavilion in Yokohama, Japan. We now have all the details of the upcoming fully electric battery crossover. And in today's video, we'll discuss everything you need to know from the styling, powertrain, batteries, charging, autonomy, pricing, and more. Even see how it stacks up against the Tesla Model Y and the upcoming Mustang Mach-E. Will the Ariya be the EV home run Nissan needs it to be? Let's find out. Welcome back to Luxurious Fleet. If you're new here, my name's Kirk and this channel is dedicated to Japanese autos. Subscribe, hit the bell icon so you won't miss any of my upcoming videos on the Ariya as we get closer to launch. Nissan will be on a rampage in the next 20 months by rolling out 10 new models. They're expecting to sell 1.5 million EVs and e-powered cars by the end of 2023. And the Ariya is key to them attaining this lofty goal. You can't attain that goal if the car's ugly. And this vehicle is far from it. Let's head on over and check how it looks. And here it is. It is stunning looking. This bronze paint color is one of 6 paint colors that they'll have. We have no other indication, but they're all going to be two-tone. So this one is two-tone with black. As you can see, this black on the bottom. Every single Ariya is going to have a black roof. You can probably also see this double shark fin up here. That probably helps with the autonomous features in the vehicle we'll talk about later. The pattern on the grille has hung over from the concept. It looks great. You can see this aggressive spoiler here for aerodynamics. Aerodynamics is very, very important, as you guys know, for maximizing that range on an EV. And this light bar across is gorgeous. I know that's the trend right now. We're probably gonna get sick of it. But as of right now, I think the Ariya does a really good job at implementing that rear light bar. Now there's a lot going on with this front end. So this is the shield. The shield is what they're going to replace the grille with. There's tons of sensors behind there for the autonomous driving and all the safety features built into the car. You can also see just how many little parking sensors there are as well built into the vehicle. And then the production version also has fog lights. Now I don't think they'll be standard. I think they'll definitely be on the more expensive models. But the concept, I don't remember it having fog lights. Daytime running lights look like hockey sticks to me, but they look really awesome. And then even the nighttime lights, you have 3 for low beams, and then I would guess 4 for the high beams, because there's a 4th one in here as well. The new Nissan logo, they've changed it just a little bit. I would have never known the difference, but they have changed the logo just a tiny, tiny bit. Maybe it's these little sidebars here that go over the N and under the N on both sides. But this is unique to the Ariya. It has 20 LEDs built inside this Nissan logo, and I think every brand, it would just look super cool. We've seen it on concepts forever now. It's good to see that a production car is having a really, really good looking front emblem with these LEDs built in. Now, interior. The concept was out of this world in terms of quality. To me, it looked like Infinity. It was even better than Infinity quality, to be honest. This Ariya is definitely top tier Nissan, I would say. If you look at the doors, they kept this beautiful pattern for the ambient lighting. It looks like a chandelier almost. It's gorgeous. You have this slidey compartment here, and here's your new shifter that's unique on the Ariya. We'll probably start seeing it on more vehicles. This is a touch haptic feedback for drive modes and other options, such as your e-pedal, which is one pedal driving, so that effectively changes your regen brake force. And there's your ProPilot autopilot button right there. And the cool thing is everything in this car, all these haptic feedback controls turn off when you turn the car off. So if you look here on the dash, this beautiful wood trim that goes across, this is the vehicle off, you turn it on, and the volume button and the dial is here for the radio. You can kind of see the hazards hidden back there. That's very clever. I don't know if that'll fly here in the United States. What you're seeing here is the Japanese spec model. But yeah, they kept this from the concept and it looks great. Looking forward here, the materials up front, this almost looks like a super suede or Alcantara of some sort. We have these awesome dual 12.3 inch screens and they just look great. I like how they're incorporated into the dash. They look like they're designed to be there. They're not really tacked on like you see in a lot of Lexus products. And you have this ambient lighting that goes across here as well. I don't really know if it was necessary because you have this awesome glow down here. This seems a lot more classy. This definitely seems more Nissan, while this down here is a touch of Infiniti. A bezel-less mirror definitely looks futuristic. I like the touch there. Now this is a theme you'll see in this vehicle, is flat floors. There's not really a hump here for the drivetrain or anything like that. And this is some additional, this might even be a speaker down here, but you have additional ambient lighting down at the bottom. And you can even see this small touch of detail here where they continue that pattern even on the dash edge when you open the door. When the door is closed, you won't even see that. Cargo space is very strange on this vehicle. From what we see here, it looks decent. In my opinion, it looks like an average crossover. The quoted figures here, I don't know if are true. They seem a little off, but if it is true, it doesn't look good because the cargo volume with these rear seats up is supposed to be, in the all-wheel drive version, only 14.6 cubic feet. Which is about on par with the Nissan Sentra. And then if you have a front wheel drive or the two-wheel drive only, it is 16.5. And compared to the Nissan Kicks at 25.3 cubic feet, it makes you wonder why they decided to make the cargo space so small. I know the rear seats fold down, but we'll talk more about this later when we do the comparison between the Mach-E and the Tesla Model Y. Now the Ariya is based on a brand new platform. They're calling it the Alliance CMF-EV. Assume that it's going to be used, of course, with Renault and Mitsubishi. Two motor layouts in this. You have a front wheel drive, and that's just called a two-wheel drive or front wheel drive. And then you have an all-wheel drive, which is called E-Force. It's very similar to how the GTR handles its all-wheel drive system, except this is an electric form, of course. You'll have a long range and a standard range of the front wheel drive, and you'll have a long range and standard range of the all-wheel drive. The entry-level models will only have 214 horsepower and 221 pound-feet of torque. The top-end models are going to have 389 horsepower and a very impressive 443 pound-feet of torque. And we'll see how that stacks up here in a little bit when we do the comparison. Now the elephant in the room for any EV, we all know that they have great performance, but range is huge. Range is huge on an EV. For the Ariya, we kind of have to extrapolate the numbers a little bit. We know that Nissan has communicated 300 miles range, and that's the front wheel drive long range variant. You'll have two battery capacities, 63 kilowatt hours of usable. It's a total of 65, but they're only allowing you to use 63 of that. It reminds me of like hard drives. Have you ever formatted a 500 gigabyte hard drive and you only have like 470 gigabytes. You know what I'm talking about. It's similar with battery packs on these vehicles. Now, the range topping is going to have a 90 kilowatt hour battery with a usable 87 kilowatt hours. Now, we don't know hardly anything about the cooling of the battery pack. We all know that Tesla uses a coolant that goes through and cools the battery pack with a radiator and everything. We don't know too much about this one. We know, they say it's active battery management system. So there has to be at least something moving through it, whether it's air being blown on it, like a cooled air system, or a liquid coolant. We just don't know. Autonomy is a big thing with electric vehicles. The Ariya is not going to be a slouch. It's going to have standard Nissan Safety Shield 360, which is becoming, this sort of technology is becoming standard on just about every single vehicle nowadays, with automatic emergency braking, with pedestrian detection, blind spot warning, rear cross traffic alert, lane departure warning, high beam assist, and rear automatic braking. I don't see radar cruise control on there. Now you can get ProPilot Assist 2.0. That's the cutting edge technology that allows you to have hands-free driving in certain circumstances. And let's read into what those circumstances are where you can let the car drive itself. Hands-off driving is possible when driving in a single lane on the condition that the driver remains attentive to the road ahead and is prepared to immediately take manual control of the steering wheel when conditions of the road traffic and vehicle require it. There's a sensor on the steering wheel column that looks at your eyeballs. I've seen this technology in the old GX 460s, that's a Lexus SUV. It has a little sensor on those older systems with its radar cruise control and lane departure alert system. It could see your eyeballs. So this is that same technology that is going to be in the Ariya, except it's going to be used a little bit more like light years ahead of what the GX's was. And there's another stipulation to hands-free driving. Hands-off feature is not available in tunnels where GPS signal cannot be established, on expressways without a physical separation that divides the traffic moving in opposite directions. So if there's a median, you're good. No median or like a yellow line dividing the two lines, you're out of luck. It's not going to work on winding roads, in tollgate areas, or merging lanes. When entered a road section where hands-off driving is not available, the system will alert in advance so the driver can take manual control of vehicle steering. But I think it'll work well. Just obviously with any autonomous driving, use your best judgment and just don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep. And it doesn't mean you can drink or drive, guys. Your Ariya is not going to drive you if you're intoxicated. Sorry, we're not there yet, guys. We're not there. Pricing and availability. Pricing will start at $40,000, and then it should be available from mid-2021 in Japan, with later availability in the US later that year. So probably fall, maybe early winter, I should say, early winter of 2021. We'll see. Now we're going to head over to the comparison and talk about all the similarities, differences, pros, cons between the Ariya, the Tesla Model Y, and the Ford Mustang Mach-E that will actually come out before the Ariya. So we need to get in. Let's go. Okay guys, I hope you brought your either magnifying glass or you're watching this on a laptop or a desktop where you can see these numbers. On your phone, it might be a little bit difficult, and I'll do my best to communicate these numbers to you. So in red here are going to be all of the Ariyas, and blue is going to be all the Model Ys, and green is going to be all the Ford Mach-Es, Mustang Mach-Es, whatever. Availability fall of 2021 for the Ariyas here stateside. We already know there's a couple Model Ys available. There's the rear-wheel drive long version or long-range version coming out later this year, and then we don't really know when the standard range rear-wheel drive, maybe early 2021. Now, Ford said that the Mach-E would be coming out fall of 2020, but that was back in like December or January. And with coronavirus, who knows at this point? So that's why anything that's unsure or I'm unsure about, there's question marks in this spreadsheet. We have heard that the summer of 2021, this is a question mark too, I just forgot to put it there. For the Mach-E, the range topping, this will go head to head with the Tesla Model Y performance. The Ariya, to my knowledge, will not have a range topping performance model to go head to head with the Tesla and the GT Mach-E. So pricing, the Ariya is going to go head to head with the Tesla Model Y rear wheel drive standard range. Now that vehicle will beat it to market by a few months, maybe a half a year. It really depends on when this vehicle comes out and when this vehicle comes out. They will have within 10% of the same amount of range, and these are just guesses, right? Now this we know for sure. The long range front wheel drive Ariya, 300 miles. The rear wheel drive Tesla Model Y should be over 300 miles. But that has yet to be seen because that vehicle is technically not out yet, but somewhere around there. And the Mach-E, I don't know. I really don't know. We don't have a lot of information, but take that green column with kind of a grain of salt for now, while the blue and the red, we have more information at this point. The dual motor long range will come in at $50,000, and I'm guessing the Ariya long range all-wheel drive will come in at $50,000 as well. It has to. It can't be more expensive than the Tesla. If it is, I don't have a whole lot of hope for it, no matter how good of a car it is. Now, here's the thing. This is what Nissan and Ford have up their sleeve. They have a dealer network that their dealerships, oh, well, the list price is 50 grand. Okay, well, not only do you get tax incentives, probably more than, of course, definitely on the Ford. I know Nissan probably has some left, even though they've had the Leaf for a while, but I know the Model Y is not going to have a whole lot of rebates left, maybe none at all at this point. So not only do they have the rebates going for them for the Ariya and the Mach-E, they also have the dealers willing to deal to make deals. So if they're like, oh yeah, I'm cross shopping, with a Model Y, it's priced online at 45 grand. Can you beat that price? If you can beat it by 2 or 3 grand, I'll buy your car. that is how the Ariya wins. As long as the dealers can make money of it, as long as it's a profitable car. If Tesla keeps slashing the prices and they can't make money, the traditional automakers can't make money on their EVs, it's going to be crazy. 7.2 kilowatts at home, that's decent. So the smaller battery pack on the Ariya, if you're using the 7.2 kilowatt charger, it's going to charge in 9 hours and 45 minutes. If you're using the 87, or you have the bigger battery pack at the 7.2 kilowatts, it'll charge about 13 and a half hours. And that's 0 to 100%. On the DC fast charge, 0 to 100% in theory should only take about 45 minutes for the larger battery pack, and the smaller battery pack about 33 minutes. In theory, the Tesla should be able to charge faster. In real world cases, please let me know if you're able to get up to these crazy charge rates. No information on the Mach-E there, but it sounds like they're going to have a pretty high bandwidth charging capacity. Horsepower, this is where things get fun for me. Charging, whatever, battery size, meh, okay. Pricing gets me excited, but you know what else gets me excited? Power. The range topping Ariya, 389 horsepower and a ton of torque, 443. That's going to beat out price for price here in terms of power. The Tesla long range dual motor at 384. So it's got 5 more horsepower and considerable more amount, about 68 technically more pound-feet of torque than the Tesla. 0 to 60, we don't know yet. So the Tesla goes 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds. I'm thinking the Ariya does 4.8, but it could be faster than that with all that torque. Cargo capacity, again, I really hope these aren't true for the cargo capacity on the Ariya, because we already know the Mach-E is going to have 29 in the back and then a 4.8 in the front. And yikes, that just destroys what we have on paper for the Ariya. And then if you look at the Model Y, I don't know. Elon only gave us fold down seats cargo capacity. I mean, that doesn't do us any good in comparison. So wheelbase is shorter than the Teslas. The car is definitely shorter as well. Almost as wide, about an inch less wide, and it's about an inch taller. I definitely prefer the two 12.3 inch screen setup over the Tesla's massive tablet that you have to look to the side. Everything's done through that tablet. I like the more traditional button layout, even though it's kind of haptic feedback buttons on the Ariya. I still much prefer that more traditional layout than the Teslas. And the Mach-E, I'm not going to, I know they have a big tablet in the middle like Tesla, but they also have a nice screen behind the steering wheel so you can see your speed, etc. They're all going to have roughly the same technology. Possible that the full self-driving will trump the ProPilot Assist 2.0 and it'll be better than the optional drive assist on the Ford. I'm almost betting on that, but they're all going to have base safety features that are very comparable from model to model. And another huge plus for the domestic cars, or I should say the more traditional automakers, is they're both going to have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. As we know in Teslas, they don't offer that. They're above that. So inside and out, the Ariya looks great. I prefer it much over the Tesla Model Y. Performance is pretty darn close to the Tesla Model Y, especially when you compare both dual motor versions. The single motor version on the Nissan does seem to be quite a bit underpowered compared to the dual motor version, but I hope they're able to keep the price down as much as possible. They say $40,000, but if they have incentives and if the dealers are willing to deal, and you have possibly more credits coming back to you for buying that vehicle compared to a Tesla, it's got a really good shot of doing well. But when you add the Ford Mustang Mach-E into the equation, that extra competition doesn't serve the Ariya well, especially since it looks like it's going to beat it to market by potentially an entire year. Well guys, what do you think of the Ariya? I'm sure you like the looks as much as I do. What do you think in the comments though? How is it going to do in the, I mean, Tesla could definitely drop their prices in a year from now when the Ariya comes out. That doesn't, I mean, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? It's so exciting. We live in the most exciting times, guys, for cars. I'm so happy that I can bring you this news today. And who knows what's gonna happen in a year, 2, 3 with Nissan. You know, they're in a sticky point right now. It's so exciting to see them actually having some life into their products right now. We're gonna see a huge revamping of their product stack. So make sure you stick around for the channel, make sure you stick around on the channel so I can cover all those vehicles for you, give you the best information and my honest opinion as well. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I don't know what else to say. Good times ahead of us. Take care of yourselves. Be safe. Peace out. God bless.